Hello and welcome back to the Miles and Goggles Show. I'm your host, Miles. Across my screen, we've got my co-host, Goggles. How are you doing today?
Good. It's been a while, but I'm ready for another episode.
It has been a while. We've both been super busy. We've had school and just life stuff, tons of stuff getting in the way, but we are back just in time for April, and the beginning of playoff basketball is going to be here before we know it. A week from now, we'll be getting ready for the play-in tournament and the postseason and all that fun stuff. But there is still tons of things that are still yet to be decided with a crazy Western Conference. Godwin, we've got 4 teams that are tied in the loss column with a week remaining. This is crazy.
And none of them are the Rockets. You love to see it.
Yeah,
Or that skinny.
Rockets, one of the teams obviously eliminated. They've been playing some gritty basketball. Şengün looked great last night against the Lakers, but we're not here to talk about those crappy teams. We're not here to talk about those teams. We're here to talk about the loaded Western Conference. We've got the Clippers, the Warriors, the Lakers, and the Pelicans, 5 through 8, all with just 38 losses, half game apart from each other.
Insane.
And everything can all get switched up this week, and it really is going to be insane because chances are that those 4 teams are not going to be the same as they are today. So, Jackson, what do you
Lakers
think
and
about
Clippers
this?
play each other. I mean, Lakers and Clippers play each other, and the Lakers have the Jazz twice and the Suns. So it's a super tough end of schedule.
Something interesting is the Phoenix Suns are going to have a big say in what happens here because they've got their final 2 games are the Lakers and the Clippers, so they have a huge impact on who I guess they would play in the first round because they're essentially locked into that number 4th seed. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's something that all these teams, I'm sure, specifically the Warriors, Lakers, and Clippers, they're gonna want to try to get into that number 6 spot so they can play the Sacramento Kings. That's what I would think.
Yeah.
But because the Kings, of course, hats off to you guys ending the playoff drought. Congratulations.
Light the beam.
Light the beam for sure. Clinching a playoff spot the first time in 17 seasons. But, I mean, not a very good defensive team. They've been winning a ton of games because of their offense, but they're a team that veteran-led teams like the Warriors and Lakers, they'd want the Kings in the first round.
Yeah. I think if I'm obviously the Lakers or Clippers, I'm trying to aim to play the Kings, but if I'm the Suns, I feel like I'd rather have the Clippers over the Lakers just because playoff LeBron is amazing. Even though I'd love to see LeBron versus Kevin Durant in the first round because that would be special. I think if you're the Suns, you'd rather see obviously the Clippers because PG's out still.
Yeah, Paul George is going to be out for the remainder of the regular season with a knee injury. So yeah, a big loss for them. But hey, if we had that, we would still get a Kawhi versus Durant matchup. But for the Clippers, they do have a deep team, but it wouldn't be. It'd be, that'd actually be pretty interesting because you'd get a battle of 2 old point guards past their prime with Chris Paul and Westbrook.
Who's guarding Booker?
That's the question. Let's see. Let me see who the Clippers have been starting as of late because they
just got Norman Powell back too.
Ty Lue's been trying to switch some things up because Marcus Morris has been brutally bad this season as of late, especially defensively. Let's see. They've been playing in some big games, back-to-back road losses against the Grizzlies and the Pelicans. And they've been starting Westbrook, Powell, Leonard Batum, and Zoo. So I don't know who.
Yeah, there's nobody there that can.
No, unless you want to.
Unless you put Westbrook on Booker. Something like that.
Yeah.
You don't need someone as crazy on Chris Paul
No, not
necessarily.
really, not really. I think even then you could, if the Clippers wanted to go like super big and you wanted to start like a Rocco, and then you could hide like, well, Norman Powell's a solid defender. But you could hide him on like a Torrey Craig or a Josh Okogie, whoever the Suns are going to start. And then obviously you got Zubats and Aiton batting each other, battle of the bigs. Um, but yeah, it's going to be super interesting. What do you think these standings will finish like? If we going off the final remaining games, so the Clippers they play the Lakers, the Blazers, and the Suns. The Warriors play the Thunder, the Kings, and the Blazers, but they play the Kings and Blazers both on the road. And this season, the Warriors have been awful on the road. They're just 9-30.
But the Blazers at this point are kind of like a free win, to be honest.
They really are. I think they'll win two of their final three.
I don't think they're beating the King. If the Kings play everyone and all that, I don't think they're beating the Kings on the road, especially with how they've been on the road.
Yeah.
Warriors are so bad on the road. It's crazy. But I mean, like Mavericks could still sneak into a playoff spot, but they might sit their two big guys, Kyrie and Luka.
Yeah,
Which
that's
I mean,
yeah.
you
It's
hate to see,
crazy
but also
it's crazy how bad they've been since the trade for Kyrie Irving.
I know, like you would think someone like Kyrie would make your team way better, but with Brooklyn, with the Mavericks, it just hasn't seemed to be the case. And even with Boston, I mean, look at where Boston's at now compared to where they were with Kyrie.
Yeah, I mean, you think Dallas was the fourth seed when they made the trade for Irving,
And
and
now
now
they're
they're down to 11.
which is insane to me. And I mean, if they want, like, if Dallas wanted to and then they won out, if they want to make it and they won out, and then like the Timberwolves lost out and the Thunder won out, Jazz could have two lottery picks as well. It's another thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Thanks to the fair trade.
Yeah, because the Timberwolves they had a horrible loss last night to the Blazers without like they basically lost to the Blazers' second team.
They lost to Shaden Sharp,
Yeah,
who's been amazing, but yeah, it's just
a
tough.
terrible. It's been the same story with the Timberwolves. They've been playing very solid recently as they've gotten like Karl Anthony Towns back from injury, Anthony Edwards. But remember at the beginning of the season, they started off
So
pretty slow when they had an easy schedule. And they're doing the same thing again. They lose to these, easy teams, and they've got the remaining games they play the Nets, the Spurs, and the Pelicans. That Spurs one, they really need to take that one seriously because the Spurs just beat the Kings yesterday, thanks to a 30-piece from Doug McDermott, which was insane.
Creighton Dougie's back.
Yeah. But then you've got the Utah Jazz are technically still in it. They play the Lakers twice, the Thunder, and the Nuggets. Personally, I don't think the Jazz will make it. But a heck of a season from Utah, especially Walker Kessler. They're terrific rookies in the concussion protocol now. He might miss the rest of the season.
You could say he basically is gonna fill the role of Rudy. Like with how many shots he blocks, that's all like he's a machine.
Yeah.
And he's been putting up points recently, grabbing boards like a maniac. I think he's gonna be amazing for them.
Yeah, it's like let me see if it still holds. I'm pretty sure he leads the league in field goal percentage. When's the last time a rookie led the league in any shooting category?
I don't know, but he's been great. He's been everything they could have asked for out of him. And I think their young core is underrated, especially with how Lowry played this season.
Yeah, yeah. Like when we get to in the next episode, we're gonna go over like award predictions and stuff. He's definitely gonna be in the running for most improved player and all that. And he's definitely broken out into a star that they can build with for the future, especially him and Walker Kessler. And then we'll find out if you're the Jazz in the draft, they're probably not going to get a super high pick. I mean, you never know with the how the lottery odds are now, but you'd probably want to go with a guard.
Oh yeah, because I mean, even Ochai Agbaji's shown some signs of being a great scorer recently.
Yeah, go to 3-and-D player, but like someone that can handle the ball because Well, Taylor Horton Tucker's been balling too.
Yeah, if they do jump up to like that 3 or 4, I mean, even if you're them, maybe you trade up to that 3 or 4 to get like an Amen Thompson type player who is somebody he plays for OTs. He's got a twin brother, but he's amazing. He's a 6'7" guard who can shoot the rock really well. So I mean, if you're them, you might explore that area maybe, but you would have to give up a lot of assets for that.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely want to go guard, but definitely a terrific season from the Utah Jazz. Really shocked all of us. I mean, we all had them as like the worst team in the league coming into the season.
Especially at the beginning of the year, they were the 1 seed for a while.
They started like 4-0, 4-1.
They were like 10-4 at a point.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's been very impressive. But you got them. The Mavericks are game out of it. OKC, Minnesota. I mean, you really hope that you don't get in that play-in tournament.
Yeah, so because I mean the play-in right now, like if the season ended right now, the plan would be Warriors, Lakers, Pelicans. Wait, no,
Lakers,
Lakers,
Pels.
Pelicans, Timberwolves, Thunder. So I mean, I think the Lakers win that first game, and they would play the Grizzlies.
Grizzlies, Lakers. Oh, that'd be an interesting first round matchup.
Yeah, I mean, AD versus Triple J would be insane.
Because, well, I mean, like we look at the Lakers so differently now since the trade deadline. Now that they have like
They
D'Angelo
look
Russell,
fantastic.
Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, they could like with the right matchup, like I think it really all comes down to who gets that number 6 seed.
Exactly.
Because, well, you look in the standings, it's kind of crazy. Like teams that we were looking at as contenders heading into the season, and maybe like a little bit now with maybe the Lakers, although they're a bit of an iffy team kind of. You look at the Clippers, the Warriors, the Suns. They are not the top 3. Like we might get whoever goes to the finals might not be a top 3 team. I mean, Denver has been the best team in the West all regular season long, but Golden State, even though Denver did beat Golden State last night, but in the playoffs historically, Golden State has been great against Denver. Same with the Lakers. Clippers not so much. Like even Phoenix. Like when you look in the Western Conference, who is your favorite to win it all?
I think the Suns.
Yeah, I agree.
Either the Suns or if the Lakers all stay healthy, I think they have a shot depending on where they end.
But I mean,
just because you can't count out LeBron, can't count out AD. D'Lo, when he was with Brooklyn, had a great playoff series. So I mean, it's just gonna be interesting because they have the depth now. They have the shooters. They just got LeBron and AD. They just gotta start winning games, and they've been doing that.
Yeah.
But I think Suns are an obvious favorite, though. Like,
I mean, look at their team. I mean, you can make the case that Chris Paul is their 4th best player.
Oh, I think he is. It's between him and Ayton. Like it's a juggle. Like you could pick either one. It just depends on the night, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but like a starting lineup of Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Josh Okogie, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, because Josh Okogie is your defensive anchor too. Like not defensive anchor, like full defensive anchor, but he's the defensive guy on that lineup.
Yeah, he can be a wing defender for sure. Like, and it's going to be huge for him. He's going to be the guy that that teams will leave open. Will he be able to make enough shots to keep himself on the floor, or will they have to go to a Torrey Craig, who's been very solid this year? They might go to him because he's a little bit bigger.
You could say Okogie, their X factor.
Alrighty, so I think that's enough on the Western Conference. Let's head over to the East. Now, the East, it isn't as crazy as the Western Conference, but there's still some things that are still up for grabs. Something that basically isn't up for grabs is that we're going to have a New York Knicks Cleveland Cavaliers first round. Most likely we're going to get the Nets and the Sixers. But the number 1 seed is still up for grabs with the Bucks and the Celtics with that well, especially last week with the Celtics just going into Milwaukee and just mopping the floor with the Bucks, because that was incredible.
It was amazing to watch. Jason Tatum with a casual 40 bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And
But
Bucks,
yeah, the Celtic. Let's see. I had the rest of the record. So Milwaukee, I think they're gonna end up finishing with the number one seed. They play the Wizards, the Bulls, the Grizzlies, and the Raptors.
yeah, it's a
So,
cakewalk.
so yeah, I think the Bucks are gonna finish out with the one seed, which is huge. In a potential, Eastern Conference Finals. They definitely want home court advantage because they have the best home record in the Eastern Conference, just one game better than the Cavs. Um, but the Heat are at 7 in the play-in tournament, but 8, 9, and 10 is one game apart between the Hawks, the Raptors, and the Bulls. It's basically the final week-long battle to see who gets to the slaughterhouse,
Who gets to play the Heat, basically.
essentially.
And the teams play each other.
Yeah. So yeah, what do you think about this Eastern Conference in this final week of the season?
I mean, I think the East is going to be honestly more like entertaining playoffs wise too, because you're going to have Cavs who have obviously playoff Donovan Mitchell, who is a different breed. Last time we saw him in the playoffs, or in the bubble, he had 50-point game against Jamal Murray. It was stupid. And I think they're going to be amazing to watch. Obviously, the Sixers with Harden, Embiid, Maxey, just a plethora of stars there as well. I think the team to watch out for, honestly, like my sleeper out of the East is the Nets.
Really?
Just putting that out. Like, I think a defensive team like that could go very far with the veteran leadership of like Dinwiddie and stuff. I think it'd be an interesting team. I don't think they're going to be a finals like contender. I just think that they could go a lot farther than we think.
Do you think that they would beat the Sixers in a best of 7 series?
I don't know because every time they've played the Sixers, Claxton's looked really good on Embiid. Claxton
That
always
is
plays
true. I mean,
Embiid.
I haven't seen. Have they played each other since the trades?
Um,
I'll take a look
I can,
because that's the thing with this Brooklyn Nets team. It's like they their team has been together for like essentially a month and a half.
and they're looking fantastic.
Yeah, they're looking okay. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to look at the
Like, I think the bigger question for the like, in terms of on the Sixers side, who's gonna guard Mikal?
Mikal Bridges. That'd be probably a DeAnthony Melton assignment.
But like, he's so good.
Okay, so the Nets played their second game since the trades was against the Sixers. That's really all they've had. They do play on Sunday, the final game of the season. But there's definitely a chance that the Sixers would rest all their guys, especially if they do play the Nets in the playoffs. They don't want to, show their hands before a series.
And would the Nets do that too if it's like solidified?
Brooklyn they would probably do that too. But well, no, they wouldn't because Mikal Bridges is going to play every game.
Oh yeah,
He'll want to play
never missed a game.
83 games.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, man, that is interesting because you could put a Mikal Bridges on James Harden or Dorian Finney-Smith on Harden. You could switch either of them on Tyrese Maxey, Claxton on Embiid, of course. That's it. That's an interesting series, man. That'd be interesting. I think we talked about it beforehand. Like, really, the only dud series is going to be most likely whoever the Bucks play. But even then, like,
Yeah,
I mean, the Bulls. We saw the Bulls and Bucks last season. That wasn't really much of a series. But you've got Toronto. They're always a pesky team that no one wants to play. The Hawks.
and the Hawks.
This was a close
Trae Young.
Eastern Conference Finals a couple of years ago, and you add DeJounte Murray. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, I mean that would be. I think the Hawks would probably be the team you don't want to play if you're them, just because playoff Trae Young is really good, obviously, and then they don't have anyone to really guard Dejounte necessarily, unless you want to put Giannis on him. But then who's
Well,
guarding
no,
like?
yeah, well, would you put Drew on Trae Young, and then you could put Chris Middleton on DeJounte?
Yeah, that's true. But like also Chris Middleton this season hasn't been like anything spectacular.
No,
So if I'm the Bucks,
because
I'm kind of going.
he's been injured for most of it.
That's what I'm saying. So like if you're the Bucks, I would be a little bit worried just because the Robin to Batman isn't hasn't been the best this season.
Yeah,
He'll
that's
probably
true. I
turn
mean,
up
that's
a
why
little bit.
Drew Holiday's been huge.
Yeah. But Middleton's I think gonna have to step up a lot if they want to go
For
far.
sure. I think he will. I think he's done enough in his career in the playoffs to show us that we can, believe in him. And we definitely don't. I don't think we have to worry about him in the first round.
Yeah, no. But I think the Knicks could be a pesky little team as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think that in the East, that is for sure the closest series, and I definitely could see the Knicks beating the Cavs.
Especially after 2 nights ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll get into that with our playoff preview too, but the Cavs Knicks is such a weird thing, like in the regular season series, because all three Knicks wins were kind of outliers in their own right. Obviously, as a Cavs fan, I have watched those games more, but like the Knicks 3 wins, I remember one game, it was a game where there were like legitimately 25 to 30 travels and carry. It was such a weird game. No one could get anything going offensively. The next game in New York, we only lost by 2, and Julius Randle went like 8 for 8 from 3. I don't know if I'm going to trust that in the playoffs. And then
What happened the last
the game a few nights ago in Cleveland, both teams were ridiculous offensively. Both teams are usually known for their defense, and Jalen Brunson went for 48 points when we didn't have Isaac Okoro playing our best defender. So it's a toss-up. That's definitely the closest series to me.
but also you gotta think it's a Tom Thibodeau team in the playoffs. And their defense is gonna step up huge.
I don't know. When's the last time Tom Thibodeau won a playoff series?
Bulls.
Yeah,
I think, right?
That was like 8 years ago. I mean, you never know. I mean, that's definitely a close series. I definitely see a world where the Knicks win because they've had a terrific season. And it's gonna be the Cavs. This will be their first playoff series with all of their, guys with Garland, Mobley, Allen, Mitchell all together. That's definitely gonna be a close one for sure. But like,
And then like
you look at those other matchups, you got a Heat Celtics, a rematch of last year's conference final that went to 7 games.
it could be. The Hawks could also like Hawks or Raptors, whoever plays the Heat could still win that. Play in and play them.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be fun. I mean, this is now like talking about it. This is a year where I don't think we'll get any dud playoff series.
It's like a couple of years ago when the Bucks were playing the Magic in the first round, and we thought that was going to be the only dud series, and the Magic actually like fought it through because DJ Augustine had like 30 in the first game.
It took a game. Yeah, like you just look all throughout the board. Like I'd be shocked if there were any sweeps.
Yeah,
like and even five.
unless it's like the Bucks.
Yeah, besides again the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks are like they've been the best team in the NBA. Them and the Celtics the whole season.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can get into more of that in the coming episodes. I mean, still a week to go. Not much change to be made in the East, but obviously a ton in the West could still be made. For sure, because it's not even a guarantee. It's not even a guarantee that Sacramento and Memphis are the 2 and 3. So that could switch. That's only a 2-game difference. And of course, the Suns have been playing great as well. But
Which yeah,
something that
see.
did come out a few days ago was that the NBPA, the Players Association, did agree on a new CBA collective bargaining agreement. So no lockout, hooray! Um,
Let's go.
and a bunch of different things going on. We've got some things that I'm extremely happy about with the 65 game minimum for awards and all NBA teams. And they're gonna
I,
all NBA teams are gonna now be positionless. So
because
something that I'm going back and I'm probably gonna make a video of this is looking to see what would have been different if these would have been placed back then, like how much things would have been different. Because like you even look at like Joel Embiid last season would have been all NBA first team if it wasn't position locked.
yeah.
Could be the
Wait, did he
same
hit the
case.
65 games threshold?
Ooh, that is always a thing with Joel. I think Joel is a guy that did hit that last season. Yeah, he
I
played
don't
68 games.
here's the thing. This season, like if they implemented it for this season, I think Jokic would run away with the MVP because I think Joel's at like 61 right now.
Now he's at 64 now, so he'll make
Oh,
it.
so he'll be fine. Never mind. So I was gonna say if he's only at 61, like Jokic runs away with that MVP.
And this is also something that isn't going to be implemented until next season. So we're also going to have an in-season tournament, which we don't have too many details about besides the fact that the winner is going to win. It's going to be $5,000 per player. That's really it.
Wait, 500? Isn't it 500,000?
What did I say?
You said 5,000.
Oh, sorry, 500,000. My bad. My bad. We also have the league's new CBA will give the players the ability to invest in their own teams as well as promoting betting companies, which I don't know how to feel about that. Like I know betting is all over now, but I feel like giving the
I don't like
players
the
a
betting
chance to
aspect.
bet in their own league is a little weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the betting aspect. I like the reinvesting actually. I think that's genius. Reinvesting into their own team. I think that's like LeBron could just buy a share of a team right now if he really wanted to.
Yeah.
Time next year, which would be amazing. But like the betting thing, it's the same thing with like the MLB. Like players aren't in the Hall of Fame in the MLB because of them betting during their playing time. So like I feel like in the NBA it's kind of weird because someone could bet against their team or bet for their team and like throw the game.
Yeah, that's why I think this I don't think that's a good idea, but you never know. I mean, crazier things have happened, but it just seems a little strange to me, honestly. Um Other than that, Gogla, is there anything else that you want to go over here?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we covered pretty much every team in both conferences other than like the non-play-in teams, like playoffs that play-in teams. So I think there's nothing more really they need to do for this episode.
Yeah, for sure. Next episode, most likely will be I guess we'd release it next Monday. We're gonna try to have a schedule. We're gonna try to do daily game recaps, especially for the playoffs, because as we talked about, we're both pumped up and excited because so many different things could happen. There's like a legit 7, 8, maybe even more teams that could get out of their conference and have a chance to win it all.
And I'm excited because I don't have to root for anyone.
Yeah, that's the thing with being a Cavs fan. No, I have a boat in this race, man.
As a Rockets fan, I kind of just get to sit and watch the chaos ensue.
Yeah,
and just wait for that
something
draft
that's fun about it, and I'm definitely gonna enjoy it too. Definitely gonna enjoy it too. But yeah, expect hopefully next episode. I would guess next Monday we're gonna go over our award predictions. I guess not even our award predictions. Who we think should win the awards, and the All NBA teams as well. But other than that, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like on the video for more content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow our Twitter page. But for now, I'm Miles,
I'm Goggles.
and we'll catch you in the next one.
And peace.